Hillary Clinton and Jill Biden need to be investigated immediately. Later in this video, I'll show you how these two women, as well as other big names you'll know, are connected to a trafficking operation out of South America. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. I have a bunch of big Trump stories, as well as this bombshell report coming out about Hillary Clinton, the Obama administration, and Jill Biden herself. Less than one day after Elon Musk exposed FEMA for sending $59 million to house illegal immigrants in New York, the culprit has been caught, named, and fired. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin detailed the incident, stating, effective immediately, FEMA is terminating the employment of 4 individuals for circumventing leadership to unilaterally egregious egregious payments for luxury New York City hotels for illegal migrants. So you're telling me individuals who do not hold leadership position were able to access $59 million of taxpayer money and release that to luxury hotels in New York City? I'm glad they were fired, but we need to investigate why such a large amount of money was so easily released, especially after an executive order blocking it. It's sad that we have Democrat officials crying that DOJ has the power to audit the government, but they don't appreciate the fact that DOJ is saving the American taxpayer billions of dollars. Now, as DOJ continues to pull funding from unnecessary government programs, it appears Disney Corporation is following in its footsteps. According to a new SEC filing, Disney is dropping its Reimagine Tomorrow program, which was a DEI-centric program aimed at hiring diversity, equity, and inclusion only individuals. For those unaware, back in 2022, Reimagine Tomorrow executive producer LaToya Revenue was caught on tape stating, Meredith Roberts and our leadership over there have been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda of creating only content for LGBTQ issues. Now, it's sad that it took President Trump being in office for the Disney Corporation to stay away from trying to influence children to be gay, lesbian, bi, or transgender. If kids grow up watching only woke content, how do you think that's going to affect their developing brain? Now, I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but pushing it on kids or pushing trans on kids is wrong, in my opinion. Let kids figure out on their own, when their brain is fully developed, what they believe they feel towards somebody of the opposite or the same sex. Now, their brains aren't even fully developed, and we were encouraging them to chop off their lady parts or their man parts, or to chemically imbalance themselves based off of something they feel when they're single digits or teenagers. I'm so glad that this is all going away. Now, thankfully, Disney Corporation wasn't the only one, as PBS News has finally caved to pressure. They realized and released a statement which reads, in order to best ensure we are in compliance with the president's executive order around diversity, equity, and inclusion, we have closed our DEI office. The staff members who served in that office are leaving PBS. While Trump's influence has largely been respected, there's a trend of people accusing him of violating the U.S. Constitution. For instance, Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar, an immigrant who's married to her own brother, has bashed President Trump for halting USAID, a government agency which delivered foreign aid that she directly benefited from. Ilhan Omar stated, when we talk about the illegality of what the executive is doing, We have seen every single executive order that has been challenged in court found to be illegal. And that, I think, should give faith to the American people that our courts are working as they should. What she's really saying is a bunch of Democrat positioned judges have decided to remain Democrat when making their ruling and go against the sitting president. While it's true the president doesn't have unlimited authority in all areas, legally speaking, he may have the authority if he's acting in the interest of national security. Needless to say, a lot of these situations fall in the legal gray area, but our president should have the support of Congress since he's helping weed out overspending or stupid spending. Also, Ilhan Omar is wrong. Not everything Trump has done has been challenged, and certainly he hasn't lost each one of them in a court, proving that they are all unconstitutional. However, I find it interesting how hard she is fighting to keep money flowing to illegal programs. Then again, she was recently caught on camera teaching a room full of Somalian illegal immigrants how to cheat the federal government system and stay in America. Now, each day that goes by, Doge seems to be finding more useless operations our money is being funneled into. Just to give you an idea of how stupid these expenses are, Doge just ended Dr. Anthony Fauci's contract to build an expensive museum exhibit to himself. That's right. In an ex-Doge post, it said, in the past 48 hours, HHS canceled 62 contracts worth $182 million. These contracts were entirely for administrative expenses. None actually touched healthcare. This includes terminating a $168,000 contract for Anthony Fauci's exhibit at the NIH museum. So before Anthony Fauci stepped down, he approved a $168,000 museum contract, which would build an exhibit entirely dedicated to bragging about himself. This has to be one of the most self-centered things I've read about in a long time. Now, unfortunately, for Doge, these are the type of people they have to deal with. And because this Elon Musk led organization will expose many of them, Democrats are ready to shut down the entire government in an attempt to force Doge and Elon Musk out. As a funny side note, Elon Musk changed his name on X to Harry Balls so that CNN would have to show Harry Balls on their primetime news show. Now, Balls was spelled B-O-L-Z, Harry Balls. Oh my gosh, Elon Musk is such a funny guy. Sorry. I've tried to be professional as I talked about Harry Balls and Elon Musk, but I apologize to my community. All right, now I have some seriously disturbing information coming out of Guatemala about Hillary Clinton, First Lady Jill Biden, and many other big names connected to Jeffrey Epstein. This is a sad child trafficking story, but one I feel you need to know about. So I'm going to roll that and comment on it. But first, a word from today's video sponsor. As we get older, maintaining muscle mass becomes more challenging. We start losing strength, endurance declines, and recovery takes longer. But here's the good news. We don't have to put up with it. Fortify from Brightcore Nutrition is packed with 9 essential amino acids that help you build and retain muscle mass. Keep your body strong and improve endurance so you can stay active and independent as you age. One thing that many people don't realize is that most protein from food sources like eggs and chicken is never utilized to make or retain muscle, but it is actually converted into glucose and fat. On the contrary, Fortify actually supports metabolic health. helping regulate your metabolism and burn more calories efficiently. Plus, Fortify supports energy and recovery, helping you fight fatigue so that you can keep doing things you love. It even boosts serotonin production, which improves mood, enhances cognitive function, and helps you to sleep better. Now, the best part is Fortify comes in easy-to-take capsules. No mixing, no hassle. Just take it daily and feel the difference. Fortify is all natural, non-GMO, and made right here in the United States of America. I have an exclusive offer for you. Buy 2 bottles of Fortify and get one free by clicking the link below, or call my friends at Brightcore right now for 50% off plus free shipping. That's right. Call 888-908-4425 and get up to 50% off plus free shipping. I love their products and I love this group. All right. Now, Benny Johnson on YouTube has broken a major story that connects Hillary Clinton, the Obama administration, Jill Biden, and other people on the Jeffrey Epstein list to a child trafficking story. Let's go ahead and watch that. I'm going to interrupt a couple of times to comment on it, but this has to be investigated. This absolutely has to be investigated. Let's roll this together.
And Save the Children and Jill Biden's role in that organization?
So in 2017, Jill Biden was elected as chair of the board of directors of Save the Children. Save the Children is one of these NGOs that supposedly is supposed to be providing aid and comfort to these children that need a home, or they need to find refuge. That they're the ones that's going to coordinate a sponsor or an adult figure that where they can take the child that says, yeah, my parents abandoned me, or I've been raped, I've been assaulted, I've had a really bad life. Save the Children comes in, they act as that humanitarian aid foundation, they take the child in, and then they try to coordinate the delivery of that child to a so-called sponsor in America, or a sponsor in some third world country that can actually take custody of that child and provide that child with a better life.
Okay, so Save the Children is an organization that is supposed to help children. Watch how many big names are connected to it. And now this group has been rated as one of the largest child trafficking organizations in the world.
And Jill Biden was appointed as chair of the board of directors in 2017. And on April 25th of 2024, Save the Children was rated for trafficking children out of Guatemala into America by the Attorney General of Guatemala.
So before they became president, Jill and Joe Biden, Jill was appointed the head of this organization.
Not just Save the Children, but there was 5 NGOs total that were also rated simultaneously with Save the Children, but Save the Children being the kingpin. Save the Children in 1985 was working with Ghislaine Maxwell. In 2003 was working with the Clintons. In 2012 was working with the Obama Foundation. In 2017 was working with Harry and Meghan from the...
So Ghislaine Maxwell of the Jeffrey Epstein case, the Clinton Foundation, the Obama administration, and Meghan oh shoot, they just said his name. Harry, Prince Harry, here in the United States. All of these groups are connected to Save the Children, which has been busted for trafficking over 190,000 children.
The royal family. Pretty much every single person that was on the Epstein list, if we were to assume, we would get the Epstein list, we would assume who was on it. Almost every single person that was on the Epstein list at some point did some type of promotion with Save the Children. Save the Children.
So they were raided by the Guatemalan government for child trafficking. So they would traffic the children to, and here's the article here. Guatemalan prosecutors raid offices of Save the Children charity. The prosecutors say that this could be a complaint against migrant children's rights, child trafficking. What happened here? Did people go to prison? People go to jail?
They raided the foundation. The crazy part about that is, Benny, is they contacted Ken Paxton, and they wanted to do a collaboration with Ken Paxton because they wanted to not only raid the offices in Texas or in Guatemala, they wanted to simultaneously raid the offices in Texas. But because Ken Paxton was getting attacked by the Biden administration, they assumed that communication between Ken Paxton and their office fell on deaf ears.
Okay, did you hear that? This is big, big, big stuff. Okay, so at the same time that they wanted to raid the office in Guatemala, they were trying to raid the office here in Texas in the United States. And they were trying to get Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, to sign off on that. Behind the scenes, what you and I weren't aware of is that the Biden administration was purposely attacking Ken Paxton and keeping him tied up in court. If you go back and look, they actually tried to impeach him during this time, saying that he used voter money, taxpayer money, to remodel his kitchen. This whole thing was a bogus story to take light off of Jill Biden for being the head of this group that was just busted for child trafficking. Do you see what they're doing? They're doing a bait and switch here, or excuse me, running a distraction campaign so that Ken Paxton wasn't aware of what was going on.
So that's why I've tried to be on the forefront of this and trying to kind of promote this and put this out there and saying, hey, like Ken Paxton, the Guatemalan Attorney General's office wants to work with you. They want to work with the Trump administration. They've already been in contact with Todd Bensman. They've been in contact with the Trump administration. And they're saying, hey, the Guatemalan Attorney General's office right now is willing to do whatever is necessary to work with the Trump administration to completely eradicate child trafficking, not just eradicate child trafficking, to put an end to this weaponized mass migration. And they're willing to do whatever it takes. And so they raided the foundation Save the Children. And since raiding that foundation, right, they raided on April 25th of 2025 or 2024. And for the first time in American history, since we recorded the data, goes all the way back to 2012, the amount of children coming from Guatemala decreased by 23% year over year. To put that into context, over the last 4 years, Benny, 190,052 children have been kidnapped and trafficked out of Guatemala and arrived at our border without a parent. And they've been processed into this system that Alejandro Mayorkas and Xavier Abasar have created. And then now we can't find 75% of those Guatemalan children.
Okay. Becerra and Mayorkas also need to be investigated. 190,000 children just from Guatemala were trafficked into the United States of America, and 75% of them cannot be found. This is an absolute travesty.
190,000 children coming out of a country the size that has a population the size of 15 million. That is a mathematical anomaly, Benny. That's not possible. It's not feasibly possible. You know, we've heard stories about the Clintons, right? And we heard about Laura Silsby and the 40 children she tried to kidnap out of Haiti. Twice, Laura Silsby got busted taking 40 children out of Haiti. Whether you want to call that a conspiracy theory or not, I think we're past that at this point. But 40 children coming out of one country, she got busted twice doing it. 190,000 children have been trafficked out of Guatemala, and they've been processed. And our government, the United States government, has taken custody of these children. They've processed them into the system, and now we can't find about roughly 75% of those 190,000 children.
Do you have any evidence other than the position and title that Jill Biden was knowingly servicing and allowing for the child trafficking from Guatemala into America, that she willingly and wantonly did that? Because that's a really big bombshell. I mean, for a first lady, it's one thing to have Mayorkas. For a first lady to be a part of an operation like that is demonic.
Benny, it's beyond demonic, and I don't want to make any claims that I can't back up, but I was just given a thumb drive on my last trip to Guatemala 2 days ago. I was so afraid that I didn't even fly back into the United States with this thumb drive. I flew back into El Salvador so I could release this information. And on this thumb drive, I have offshore bank accounts of Todd Robinson. Todd Robinson is the previous ambassador to Guatemala. When you talk about this child trafficking operation that's being ran out of Guatemala, it didn't happen overnight. This is a 5, 10, 20-year operation that was created with U.S. aid, and specific people were put into key positions. And Jill Biden being elected as the chair of the board of directors of Save the Children, and then Save the Children being raided for child trafficking. I mean, obviously, you start to sound like a conspiracy theorist when you start to go down these rabbit holes. So I don't want to make any claims that I can't back up. But as of right now, in my possession, I have offshore bank accounts from Todd Robinson. He was the ambassador of Guatemala, appointed by Barack Obama. And I believe that Trump at one point removed him from power in 2017.
Okay. Wow. This is a lot to take in. Did you hear what he just said there? So he has a thumb drive with all of the private offshore accounts of the person that Barack Obama put into place to manage this. On top of that, they're covering up for Jill Biden, the Clinton Foundation, the Obama administration, other people connected to Jeffrey Epstein. This guy was so scared at the data he has, he didn't even fly back to America. He's sitting in El Salvador waiting for somebody to launch an investigation so that he can share this information. I really hope that Trump will get this. Trump's onto something with this guy being let go, this Obama appointed person. Trump said, I got a bad feeling, let the guy go, but there was no investigation, probably because of the COVID lockdowns. But now it needs to be reopened. Don't you find that a little bit suspicious that the former First Lady, Jill Biden, was the head of an organization that was raided for trafficking 190,000 children into the United States of America? So weird. All right, let me know your thoughts, please. I want to hear from you. I want to read these comments. This is disgusting to me. I believe this needs to be investigated immediately. As of right now, what we're doing is we're connecting the dots, showing something's not right with the Clintons, something's not right with the Obamas, something's not right with Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jill Biden, and they're all connected to this child trafficking ring out of Guatemala that is supposed to save the children, not traffic the children. All right, I hate those gross stories, but you have to be made aware of them. All right, in international news, President Trump has officially given Hamas an ultimatum after they claimed they were pausing their hostage exchange in Israel. They either hand over all the hostages by noon on Saturday or the ceasefire agreement with Israel is canceled. President Trump stated, Israel can override it, but for myself, Saturday at noon. If they're not here, all hell is going to break loose. Hamas will find out what I mean. Now, according to AP reports, Hamas spokesman Abu Zuri stated that dozens of hostages would not only be released if all parties uphold last month's ceasefire. At the moment, Hamas has accused Israel of breaking the agreement by firing at Palestinians. He stated, Trump must remember there is an agreement that must be respected by both parties. As a reminder, in January 2025, a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas was brokered with help from the president's administration along with Egypt and Qatar. The deal involved Hamas releasing hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel, with the ceasefire set to begin on January 19th. Now, according to Breitbart, there are still 73 hostages in Gaza. Hamas better get with the program because I don't believe Trump is bluffing. You can't hold hostages for over a year and expect people to be patient. So basically, Trump is saying those hostages should have been released. To him, that is breaking the deal. And with a broken deal, he is saying, if I don't get the hostages by noon this Saturday, all hell is going to break loose. I think what will happen is they will unleash Israel. They will give Israel all the weapons and backing and money they need. And they will say, to hell with it. You've broken the agreement. You didn't release our hostages. We're now going to unleash the hounds, as Trump said, onto Hamas. I don't know exactly what that means, but in Trump's mind, this is a breach of contract. Therefore, he's going to breach contract and he's going to unleash hell, according to him, onto Hamas. Let me know over in the comments, what do you think is going to happen? Hey, let me know, yes or no. Do you support what Trump is doing? If you do, type yes. If you don't, type no. And if you don't know, I don't know, maybe type I don't know. This is big stuff. I hate covering these stories, but these are big, big stories. These are things that our government leaders have to deal with. I didn't realize there were still 73 hostages that Hamas hasn't released. No wonder President Donald Trump is so furious. All right, I love you guys. If you could, there's thousands of you watching right now. Give this video a like. Share it with somebody. I want to get this Jill Biden Save the Children story out there. Why is Hillary Clinton, the Obamas, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jill Biden, why are they all connected to Save the Children? And why was Save the Children raided for being one of the largest trafficking organizations in the world? I want this story to get out there. I love you guys. Stay amazing. And I will see you on the next video.